Alright, hope everybody's having a good one. Welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator with Cookie Pirate. Today, we're flying the Cirrus SR22 out of a new airport to Venetie. I think is how you say that, I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, we're headed down to Eagle. Should be going 21,000 feet. It's going to be an hour and 1 minute. And the route is just under 186 miles. Climb aboard, let's go flying. I love planes, welcome. Hope you're having a good weekend so far. And wow, what is this? Aha! We're starting in the grass. And there's a road. It looks like there's like some auto-gen scenery that overlaps the parking area here. Is the SR22 free or not? So it's not like a paid add-on. I think it came with the deluxe version of the sim. Let me look that up for you real quick. So it's either premium or deluxe. I don't remember which it comes with. It says premium deluxe gets the SR22. This airport is Venetie, Alaska, I think, is how you say it. I'm not 100% sure if that's the right way to pronounce it. It's a little bit northwest of Fort Yukon. Let's go ahead and get the battery switches. Get everything initialized, climbing at, cruising at 21,000 feet. It's minus 16 on the ground here. Let's cycle the mixture. Boost pump on, strobe light, magnetos to both. And yeah, this is this is kind of an interesting startup here. Clear. Alright. Engine's running, oil pressure is immediately up into the green. Oil temperature is slowly but surely rising. Alternators on, battery amperage is good. SR22 is so modern, right now all I fly in GA is the 172. Yeah, I mean this is the G6 of the 22 turbo, so it's, I mean, other than the G7 that just came out several months ago. I mean, G6 has incredible equipment. But 172, you know, if you get one with the G1000, it's got some pretty good stuff as well. Alright, engine is running, and let's just take a look outside here. Guess we could check the flight controls while we're at it. I'll put the flaps down to half. The rudder's good. Elevator is good. Ailerons are good. Surprised the engine oil isn't frozen. You think it would be, given that the starting temperature was minus 16. That's Celsius. I think that's like 3 or 4 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, there's gotta be some auto-gen. Like, this doesn't look right at all. Like, the ramp is here, the fuel boxes are here, these buildings are here, and there's a road, but then the road transitions to what I believe is auto-gen. And there's kind of an odd path out that way. Yeah, I don't know, something ain't right here. But, oh well. So when we turn, we'll go ahead and turn this way. We have the open grass. I'm thinking about it. Let's just go ahead and do a run up right here. Throttle up to... Oh, I can't wait to get this thing replaced. The malfunctioning. Throttle that I have. A toddler built this airport. Honestly, I tell you, I think a toddler would do a better job. I think this is the AI generated scenery where there's not like adequate satellite coverage. And to be fair, they tried, and where there are not airports and towns involved, it does a good job. But where there are, little less so. Alright, we've got the power stable at 1700 RPM. Let's do a mag check. Right mag is good. Back to both. Left mag. It's good. Back to both. Engine instruments are in the green. There's no warnings, errors, cautions, anything. So we're looking pretty good there. I guess we'll turn the landing light on too as we get ready to head out. Let's just check our de-icing, or anti-ice. We have enough for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Now we have normal. Up to high. Back to normal. And off. And... yeah, that all looks good there. Back to the engine panel. For the map here. Let's get the weather at Fort Yukon, as that's going to be the closest airport. With reporting weather. Birch Creek. Why can't I pick Fort Yukon up? That's bizarre. Can't wait for MSFS 2024 and do the walkarounds. Yeah, that's going to be a really neat feature. Some payware planes currently do include that. But yeah, it's going to be nice to be built into the sim. Alright, here's Fort Yukon. Weather, wind is calm. Of course, it could be a little different here. Clear skies, 10 miles visibility, minus 17. 2977 on the altimeter. We have it auto set to 2985. It just defaults to what the pressure at the location is. So we're not going to touch that. The other way that we can check that out is we're showing 590 feet. Let's go ahead and pull the power back to idle. And the airport elevation on the map, on the chart I should say, is 574, so that's close. So we'll go with that for now. Let's go ahead, release the park and brake, hit the brakes. We're going to go ahead and turn to the right here. And we just have to be careful because of the jumping throttle. And this terrain is a little bit rugged. It does take a little more power to get moving, though, in the heavier terrain. Look at the sun right there. I mean, it's almost 2:30 in the afternoon Alaska time, and yet, look at that. The sun is already almost ready to set. Grass is frozen. It's supposed to be dusted with a little bit of snow, or frost, or both, or something like that. And I believe the runway runs... yeah, that is exactly how it goes. Because I know the runway runs like northeast to southwest. And if you look out there, there's the clearing. Oh, here's the actual runway surface where the grass is kind of cut short. Alright, that makes more sense, and yeah, and it does run right back that way. Alright, gonna hold the brakes. We're gonna do a soft field takeoff here. So we're gonna go full power. Engine instruments are in the green, we're looking good. Let go of the brakes, and pulling the flight control stick all the way back. Come on. Get airborne. There we go. We're airborne about 65 when we lift off. We're just going to fly the plane in ground effect. Yeah, wide open. Alright, now we can climb out. At a positive rate. Let's bring the flaps up. We're going to get an accelerated climb with that extra speed that we got accelerating in ground effect. We're doing really well on the climb, actually. Over 2,100 feet per minute. Now we're down to about 1,900, which is still really good. Nav on and VNav on. And we are 1,000 feet above the ground. Let's engage the autopilot. It was a nice soft field takeoff. Hey, I appreciate that. It was smoother than I thought it would be. And while the plane doesn't want to intercept the GPS track, so alright, let's set the heading bug. Heading is on, and we'll go ahead and turn for an intercept right down there. Landing light can come off. Once we get on course, we'll go ahead and reduce the climb rate. We'll actually increase the speed on the FLC to about 125 or 130, and we'll do a cruise climb Richard Peak instead of full power peak. Laying the mixture to the bottom of the green. A quick look outside. And yeah, so here's where we started parked, and then yeah, you can kind of see the runway clearing out over there. Now the actual village, oh yeah, now you can see it. It's tough to see, just because of all the trees and the snow. But the actual village is right here. Does the Cirrus have auto throttle? The SR22 does not. The Vision Jet does. So here's the town of Venetie on the this is the Chandelar River. Brooks Range Mountains Arctic Village will be up that way. And Fort Yukon will be visible here in just a moment. I think we'll actually be flying pretty much right over it. Let's go ahead and turn on the flight tracker for you all. That's a small town, yes it is. It's a very, very small community. Only about 150 people, I think. Which, out here in these remote parts of the state, that's about how large the villages tend to be. Fort Yukon's a bit bigger. I think Fort Yukon has 500 or 600 people. But you'd have to fly about another hour south to get to any really sizable community. Or, well, no, I shouldn't say that, because Fort Yukon's a decent size. But I'm talking about Fairbanks, and Fairbanks is actually the second largest city in the state, so... Okay, our route today. When we started up here, this is the Chandelar River. runs into the Yukon down here, and we actually go directly over Fort Yukon. Okay, I knew we were going to go pretty close over it, but yeah, we fly directly over it. And you'll see the Porcupine River. That's the one that runs up toward Chalkiet. No, Chalkietsik sits down here. There it is right there. This runs up to Old Crow in the Yukon territory. And then we follow the Yukon River kind of upstream. Circle City, and then Eagle is our destination, and just a little bit further would be Dawson in the Yukon in Canada. So most of this is just going to be the river flats for the first half, and then we'll start passing up over some of these hills and mountains. I've flown into and out of Eagle a few times. It actually has a really pretty approach. And it's still 10,000 feet, and it's only minus 18. It's quite a temperature inversion. Yeah, just following some rivers, yeah. If you do this VFR, this is one of the easiest ones you can do, because you pay attention to where the rivers intersect, and then just follow the river straight down. I mean, by going direct, we're taking a little bit of a shortcut, and we're going IFR, which lets us go up above 18,000 feet, so. Alright, we will go ahead and accelerate this a little bit here. I'm going to raise the FLC up to 130. We're going to pull the power back to... I don't know if this wants to cooperate. Alright, look at that. And I have this throttle's probably about 95% forward. Gosh, I can't wait to get this RMA'd. SR22 climbs fast, yeah. Well, this is the turbo. The regular SR22 doesn't climb quite as fast, although it's got pretty good performance. But yeah, this plane has... Yeah, I mean, we're doing over 1,000 feet per minute with the cruise climb configuration. Get the mixture leaned back, we're looking for about 20... Oh, see, this thing's not really stable, though. Alright, that looks about better. That's about where we want it. I'm used to puny little Cessna 172s. Hey, you know, that's what I started flying in the real world. And I mean, this is a big step up, but it's trickier to fly. This is a less forgiving plane. There's more power, but there's less room for error. And the 172 is a very forgiving airplane. This, not so much. So, I mean, it kind of comes with the territory. It's a bit of a trade-off. You get more performance. But you also lose a little bit of the utility. In real life, I train in the 150. I've not actually flown a 150, but I know they were very reputable airplanes. Really good trainers. Really good time builders, too. They sip fuel, they're really fuel efficient, and they're slow, so it takes you longer to go from point A to point B, so it's a really, really good time builder. Yeah, this is looking... Oh, it starts to cloud up a little bit. However, look at that, though. You know, the sun hitting the river here. That's pretty. And again, this is just after 2:30 in the afternoon, and it looks like almost, you know, early evening. Out that way up to the north. You can see the mountains way off in the distance here. That's where we took off from, right there. Yeah, this is a beautiful view. I mean, there's really not much to see over here in the river flats. Once we get over toward the mountains and stuff like that, it's gonna get pretty remarkable. Looks like some higher clouds, they thicken out over that way. We may be... If we're not over those, we'll have to pay attention to temperatures and the possibility of icing conditions. Yeah, now it's getting colder. Minus 30 up here. Oh, talking about the sun and the clouds. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, up here, this time of year, when the sun does rise, because depending on where you're at, I think from where we took off, there will be somewhere around 50 minutes of sun on the winter solstice. So, late December. Of course, other areas won't see the sun for several days or a couple weeks or in some cases a couple months. But basically from Anchorage up, like north, it's November, December, it's almost perpetual golden hour where the sun is less than 6 degrees above the horizon, and you kind of get that really pretty orange, yellow, blue kind of sunrise, sunset sky. We're just passing over 18,000 feet. Let's go ahead and set standard pressure. And a little bit of a gain in altitude. One time I got some carb ice in your plane. In real life. Oh yeah. Yep. That's why you have carb heat. And it doesn't have to be cold for carb heat. I think it's the Venturi effect or something like that. I've heard of carb icing happen at 70 degrees Fahrenheit. With fuel-injected engines, which are the newer 172s, these planes are fuel-injected. Stuff where you don't really have to worry about the carburetor. You don't deal with carb heat and stuff like that. But yeah, in older planes where you do, that's an essential step of the checklist, is turning your carb heat on. And recognizing the effects when you do get some carb ice. And it's usually a very easy correction. Carb heat test during the run-up, that's it. I think it's usually when you turn the carb heat on, the RPMs you usually get, I think it's been a while. I think the drop is usually supposed to be like 175 to 100 RPMs less. And then you get them back when you turn the carb heat back off. Alright, here we are, leveled off 21,000 feet. Minus 38 Celsius. Which is minus 36 Fahrenheit. I know that they're the same at minus 40. And we've got about a 6-knot tailwind component, and we are about to pass right over the top of Fort Yukon. There's the airport and the village. It's a lot larger community than Venetie, but itself is still a very small village. Only, I think, 500 or 600 people, compared to, I don't know, 30,000 in Fairbanks. Yukon River, of course. And this right here is the Porcupine River that runs out up that way, and then here the other river splits. I believe this is the Black River, if I'm not mistaken. You get carb ice. If you turn on carb heat, it becomes a rough drop of RPM. Okay. It's been a while since I've flown in the real world, and I haven't really had to deal with carburetors in aircraft in here. I fly the Cub Crafter's X Cub occasionally, and I believe that has carb heat. I could be wrong though. It's been a while. Well, those clouds do look like they're still off in the distance. Of course, the Yukon running that way. Yeah, this is the Black River. This is what leads out to Chalky. It's like another really tiny community out here in the river flats. And then the Porcupine that runs out to Old Crow in the Yukon. We just flew. Fort Yukon sits right on the Arctic Circle. So we've just crossed to the south side of the Arctic Circle. Another pretty view. Oh, look at that. It clears out a nice bit out that direction, and you can see some of kind of the mountain ridges out there. Of course, all down through here are the White Mountains that separate the Yukon River from the Tanana River, which is where Fairbanks sits. And you've got a couple other communities up here. Central, Circle Hot Springs, Birch Creek is somewhere out here. Good luck finding it. Unless you're flying right over it, it's pretty difficult to see. And then Circle City sits out a little further south on the Yukon. We may get a view of it. I go into the back into the cockpit here. Switch fuel tanks. Always forget. Turn the boost pump. Know my Alaska map. Well, I've done a lot of flying up here in the interior. This is one of my favorite areas to fly. I mean, Alaska itself is one of my favorite states to fly in. And then this part of Alaska is pretty much my favorite part of the state to fly around. I mean, it's early November as well. But I was gonna say I'm surprised they haven't had any real deep cold snaps yet. So in all the temperatures that I've seen, we've really had nothing below about minus 25 that I've at least seen around the state, and that's Celsius. So it was at minus 13 Fahrenheit, I believe. I mean, there are times this early in November I've seen temperatures go to, 30 to 40 below Fahrenheit on the ground, and we just haven't seen that yet. Don't worry, I give it a few weeks, we probably will. Might go do some GA today in Florida and go down to Key West. Do I live in Alaska? No. Nope, it's on one of my lists of places I really want to go visit. And I've had a couple friends that are from Alaska, though. I don't think I'd be opposed to living there, too, if I did, some flying or... I mean, in the real world, my career's in airfield operations and management at small airports, so I'd love to go do something like that up here in Alaska, or well, up in Alaska. I live in South Carolina, so, but I'd love to go do something like that up there in Alaska, just because the state and the communities are so reliant on aviation. Like, it is literally a lifeline for some people. Oh yeah, I read that, yeah. GA in Florida, go down to Key West. Yeah, it could actually be kind of fun to fly along the Keys. Actually, I haven't flown in or out of Key West. I did... What did I do? Let me think. Oh no, I went into Cedar Key, but that's further, like, northwest. Kind of like north of Tampa. But that was a really pretty flight. But yeah, the Keys proper, like down south of Miami and everything like that, I've heard are absolutely gorgeous. I haven't done any flights down there. I might consider it sometime. Well, we're about a third of the way. Alright, let's see what we can see out to our left. I don't think we're going to see it because of the cloud cover, but Chalkyitsik is just out over here. Would be up here. Yeah. There's the river, but yeah, I can't see the town. Circle City should be... Wow, those clouds are actually starting to build up a fair bit more, but Circle City should be on the river, just kind of out over here somewhere. I guess it remains to be seen if we'll be able to see it above, or, well, below the clouds. Key West is a good place, yeah. Now, I don't know much about it. Well, none of the keys themselves are said to be very pretty. Yeah, if you do flight there, hope you enjoy it. Sounds like it'd be fun. I'm gonna head out and go eat, enjoy your flight. Hey man, I really appreciate you stopping by and hanging out for a bit. Hope you enjoy your food and enjoy your flight as well if you end up doing that. Take it easy, man. Oh. Be back soon. Alright, sounds good. And yeah, those clouds look like they thicken up. I'm not sure we're going to be able to pick up Circle City. This is really pretty though. Wish you get a little bit of the sun bloom. We're doing pretty well. 8-9 knot tailwind component. Pretty gentle crosswind correction as well. About 3 degrees. Power and mixture are set in a good spot. Let's see. I know right where we should be looking. See if these clouds clear up any. Just enough to pick it out. Actually decided to order food, heck yeah. Convenient and good. But it is expensive. Man, I've been eating out a fair bit lately. And that's not a good habit to get into all the time, just because it's a little less healthy for you, and it's also fairly expensive. But every now and then, it's nice to just be able to enjoy that kind of stuff. Come on, clouds are in the way. Now, delivery fees are so expensive, yeah. Yeah, and you know, I generally prefer, for that reason, to just drive out and pick something up and bring it back. You know, especially if I live only, I don't know, 5 minutes away or something like that. Oh man, this cloud's thicken up pretty good. Right over here. That's pretty though. You got a really nice, pretty view right down here. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to pick it out. I mean, we are right about at the halfway point, and Circle City should be right off our right wing. Cloud's got some vertical length. Yeah, you know, I'm not 100% sure that that is accurate and realistic for up here this time of year. Maybe it is. I know in the summer, you get some very tall clouds and some rain showers and thunderstorms occasionally. But with it being as cold as it is, plus a temperature inversion, I'm not really sure that the clouds should be building up. Now, unless up here at 20,000 feet, I mean, they could definitely be like cirrostratus or cirrus clouds or something like that. But the problem is, this version of Flight Sim doesn't differentiate between different cloud types, so they're all pretty much rendered the same. And I'm hoping Flight Sim 2024 will correct that. That comes out in 10 days. I'm pretty sure November 19th is the release date. If you fly under them in a Cessna 150, you're gonna get hecka turbulence, yeah. Well, you fly under them in any light plane, you're gonna get a considerable amount of turbulence, and then it's even worse if you go into the clouds. Once you get above them, it tends to be much smoother. Yeah, we're not gonna be able to see the airport. This is super pretty, though. Alright, let's take a look back in the cockpit. Minus 39. And we're just over halfway. Yep, nope, clouds are in the way. The airport would be, and the village would be kind of right down here, pretty much. On the other side of the river there. And you can see generally, once you get down past the Circle City kind of area is where you'll start getting some of the hills and the mountains that rise up. And if you were to look out off your right wing, it looks like we have Circle Hot Springs and Central, but we're not going to be able to see those. They're way further out, and there are clouds in the way for some. Some clouds ahead, yeah, and we're going to be starting descent, so we'll probably end up going through them. In fact, let's go ahead and get that planned. I'm going to set the altitude down to, we'll just start it to 15,000 for now. Probably a little too far away to get the weather in the reporting station. So we're going to click on Eagle here on the map. And it is telling us this is as of an hour ago. So it should update soon. 110 at 10, gusting to 17. Ooh, so it might be pretty breezy out here. Clear skies -7, so a little bit warmer. 2963 on the altimeter. So let's go ahead and select approach, and we're going to set up for visual runway 7. Set the straight fix, load. Because the top of descent's a little further out, we cross the river again. But if we bring the flight plan up and let's check the map and see how it has us routed for that. Yeah, it's got us doing one of these wonky curves, which it shouldn't be doing. I don't understand why it does that, so we're going to set direct to this straight out fix. Be 4 or 5 miles away from the airport. And top of descent moves a little bit forward. You want to touch some clouds in the 150. Some, not all, but some 150s actually can be certified for IFR. Otherwise, go in Class B airspace. Because your cloud clearances in Class B are just clear. Unlike in other types of airspace where you generally have to stay 500 below, 1,000 above, 2,000 to the sides, etc., stuff like that. Oh, we just... Nope. Actually did go through that just a little bit. It was a little wispy. Have a Class Delta above your airport. Yep. That's the same cloud clearance as pretty much everything else. 500 below, 1,000 above, and 2,000 on the sides. Now, depending on where you're at, you might have Class Bravo or Charlie airspace above the Class Delta. It just depends where you're at. Now look out here, you can kind of see some of the mountains taking shape. A little bit down there as well. We'll probably be about a minute away from top of descent here. So let's check the chart. This is on my second screen, you all won't see it, but what I'm basically looking at is a VFR sectional chart on SkyVector, and I'm looking for the minimum safe altitudes. 36, 54, and 66 in the box, where Eagle is located. But we'll be well below that at that point. Another just very thin, wispy cloud there. So for now, we'll actually just set 5,500 feet. And of course, once we get closer down, closer into the airport, we'll determine if we need to make any adjustments to that. Closest Bravo is at Cleveland Hopkins. Okay. And if it's out of the way, if you're going to an airport in that area, then you might actually have to go through or perhaps under the Class B shelves. Going through a cloud or going into it, yeah. Yeah, we're technically going IFR, given that we're up at 21,000. I mean, you can't go above 18,000 VFR, with very limited exceptions. Yeah, we'll be starting our descent here in just a moment. Alright, let's do a couple things here. Hot air entry, we're going to turn cabin heat on. And yeah, it's starting us down right through some of these. We're going to go ahead and turn the de-ice on. Anti-ice temperature. Is it too cold? It may actually be too cold for de-icing. I guess we just turn it off. I don't remember there being a bottom temperature for it. Let's pull the power back to about 30... Yeah, right about there. Actually in the yellow, so we do need to... I mean, the air is smooth here, but do need to pay attention to that. Isn't it called Special VFR? Going VFR in 18,000 feet? No, that's just, you get a, I think the way that works is you just have to coordinate with air traffic control ahead of time. Like, you probably have to call the facility. Where I hear of it happening is when glider pilots, particularly out west where the mountains are high up, will be soaring and there are good thermals. They may get up above 18,000, maybe to, 20, 21,000, and they'll call and get, they'll get permission from the air traffic controllers ahead of time, like before they begin their flight. Special VFR, I believe, lets you take off with lower minimums And you have to have an IFR clearance. Or not IFR clearance, but you have to have an instrument rating to do that, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong on that. I've actually never done special VFR. One thing I have done is VFR on top. And what that is they let you climb above the clouds, going up through them. And then you get above the cloud layer, and then you maintain VFR, like, separation, so you maintain your own, like, traffic separation and all of that stuff. No way is too cold for anti-ice. Well, depending on the way the system is configured, there may be a certain temperature it needs to be considered most effective. Meaning, even if you deploy anti-icing, with it being as cold as it is, it just may not be... It may be too cold to work effectively. With that said, you can get icing all the way down to 40 below, or even colder than that. However, generally once it goes below minus 20, the chances of picking up any substantial aircraft icing do decrease considerably. And it's generally because any moisture that you're flying through is already frozen. So these clouds, you know, at these cold temperatures are going to be ice crystals, as opposed to, like, super cooled liquid water droplets, which generally pose the most danger to aircraft in terms of icing. Below 18,000, actually need to set the... I think it was 2963. Let's see if we can pick the weather up now. Yes. And it has updated. Still 110, 8 gusting to 15, so the wind has settled down just a little bit. 10 miles visibility, clear skies. Still minus 7 and 2963, so that is actually correct. Now, look at the clouds have that yellow-orange glow. And right down here, the river. Just passed over the Yukon again. Wow. Yep, well, it's... I mean, it isn't really that close to the North Pole compared to... let's say, for example... Oh, gosh, I don't even know if I can zoom out far enough to make a reference. But this is the northernmost point right here, Barrow, or Utqiagvik. But if you come over this way, I mean... This is all part of Canada, and it goes so much further north. Like at here, you may be 84, 85 degrees latitude, whereas the top of Alaska is only at about 71. So, just as a visual reference there. But you're right, it is very far north. Of course, the Arctic Circle, we actually flew over the Arctic Circle. Where you get midnight sun in the summer and polar night in the winter. Really, it's polar twilight. It doesn't stay pitch black 24 hours. And yeah, look at that, all the clouds behind us are out that direction. Can go to Alaska but can't live there. Yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to live there for a long time, at least, to get used to it. I'd love to go up and experience it for more than just, you know, like a week trip or something like that. I'd like to go in the winter too, when you can experience the real cold and see the northern lights. Hey, look out there, the sun is getting close to setting. These are the white mountains out here. And 13,000. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty. Yeah, look back over this way. Here's the Yukon. Is it just the lighting, or is the river frozen? I can't really... No, I see reflections there. Yeah. I think it's just the lighting. Yeah, so we're looking out here. Out that direction's Canada. In fact, Eagle only sits, I don't know, 2 miles or so from the border with Canada. I'm looking. I believe the airport is actually right over here. Because there's this curve in the river. And another curve. And then I believe the border with Canada runs something right like that. We pull the map up. Yeah. So I'll be coming down through here, then we'll turn on the final approach. Headed east, fly right parallel to the river. And then there's the village of Eagle that will be going pretty much right over. And then there's a community called Eagle Village, which sits right about here. And then there's the river and these 2 islands, and Canada runs... The border with Canada is basically right here. Kind of right at this edge of the river right there. I think. Yes. Yeah, just about right here. Runs straight down, kind of like that. Let's confirm that on the map. So the left side view is beautiful. Yeah, it actually really is. Just kind of have that kind of orange-red glow of the sky and the clouds. The mountains out that way. Straight ahead, it's pretty too. Actually, the view out that way is pretty too. Alright, so this is telling us we need to be down at about 1,700 feet by the final approach fix. Which means we'll probably be somewhere around 2,500 at this point, and that is going to be too low. Going straight on course, I believe. So what I want to do is locate the airport right now if we can. And let me just take a look here. There's that bend in the river with the island, and I believe... Yeah, that's a bit further up. So that is not where the airport is. It's not quite in sight yet. I think I might actually be back here. The view is amazing, but the nature can kill you. Yeah, for sure. soak in the terrain if you're not careful. Says we've got about 8 minutes to go. Zoom in a little bit here. Now, of course, we're set to level off at 5,500 right now. And of course, the map starts changing color. In fact, we can see a little bit of it here. So when we see black, we are at least 2,000 feet above the ground. When you start seeing green, you're between 1 and 2,000 feet. If you see yellow, you're less than 1,000 feet, and if you see red, you're actually below that terrain. Or Legend. Oh yeah, minus 100. Okay. Yeah, so it's just you're less than 100 feet above. Give another meaning to the view. Oh. The view is to die for. Yeah, no. That's our goal, is to make the view as beautiful as possible without having to die for it. Minus 9 Celsius. Yeah, wow, okay. Already this high up, it's warmed up considerably. Crystal clear over here. Don't have to worry about any moisture. I don't think we need to worry about any icing. Yeah, look out that way. That's gorgeous. Whoa. That's actually really pretty. Hey, look out that way. Oh, that's... Wow. That is pretty, too. So the sun is going down and you kind of have that terrain lit up in that reddish pink color. And yeah, you can actually see right over here, the terrain is above us. As you can see, the peaks are kind of these red dots, these red lines out over here. Haven't even got below 50 degrees Fahrenheit yet for me. On the ground? No. Or are you talking in the sim? That's just spectacular right there. That's such a pretty view. It's got us leveling off here, but I actually... Yep, here it is. There's the airport, and here's the town of... or the village of Eagle. So we're good to go. We're good to continue. Is VPATH going to take back over or not? We may actually have to set, we may have to set FLC to descend here. In real life on the ground. Wow, okay. Blue disco messaging. If I'm thinking correctly about what you're talking about, yes. Oh, this is perfect, actually, because we do get right in this little clearing. And we can actually just start, flying pretty much visually. So I'm going to disengage the autopilot. We're going to do a couple things to configure for landing. We are below the green in mixture, so we need to enrichen it a little bit. Fuel switch pump. Let's go ahead and switch tanks. Landing light on. We'll go mixture fall rich in a moment. Can I add you on it? Yeah. Set trim wheel a little bit here. Player 16. Alright, I appreciate that. I will reach out to you. Alright, we are below 150, so we can go half flaps at any time, but I'm just gonna leave them out, or leave them up for now. So we're kind of taking a little bit of a shortcut. Actually add a little bit of power in. Kind of just trying to follow this valley instead of going too much on a dog leg out. Out over here, especially as we descend, we start getting a little closer to some of that terrain. Where we're at right now is totally fine, but if we continue in that direction, descending, it might get a little bit close. Especially this ridge that we have to fly over up here. Last little bit of sun right there. Yeah, it is. It's actually kind of steep terrain out over there. Over here it's pretty gradual, but looking out that direction, it's definitely. Alright, we are getting pretty close in. We're only, is it saying, about 6 miles from the airport? Yeah. So let's go in, hit activate vectors to final. Sets us the course, gives us a dot, and we're way high. So I'm going to cut the power, and we're actually going to go ahead and go half flaps right now. It'll get us slowed down, but it'll also allow us to steepen our descent rate here without gaining too much speed. And we'll zoom in on the map a little bit here. And we're only about 4 miles away now. And yeah, the VASI indicates that we're a bit high. As long as we stay 500 feet above the terrain, we should be good. And we're about 1,000 now. Over here it's coming up. Where we're going to be probably 700 or 600. And of course that 500 foot rule doesn't apply when you are on approach, maneuvering for landing and stuff like that. Now there's the airport beacon, and it's way away from the runway, which is kind of odd. But I've got the runway in sight, the lights are on, the VASI still indicates that we're high. PC runs really smooth. It's funny you say that right now. It started to stutter. And I think it's just because the heavy trees and everything like that just haven't really loaded, so. But yeah, I'm running a pretty powerful system. Man. And we're looking into Canada. See where the sun is hitting those mountains just across the river. That is pretty much right the line where Canada starts. Alright, we'll take the power out and we're going to go full flaps. And mixture full rich. Everything else is already set up, so we are... Let's just go ahead and descend. We are still a bit high. This is kind of a steep approach to fly in. The diamond is coming up though, so we're getting closer to on path. 500 feet to go. Just trim just a little bit. Hold that. On a flight control stick pretty far back. Alright, now we'll We'll add a little bit of power here. Fort Myers, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. There you go. That's a good route. You go pretty much right over the Everglades. Oh, that's a little breezy. I'll add a little power. We're slow. We should not be that slow. Easy. This is not going to be a very good landing. Of course, it's stuttering a bit. Oh, minus 125. That's not terrible. It was a little bit rougher of a landing than I would have liked. Oh, just look at the view rolling out right there, though. Just kind of the sun-kissed mountain peaks. And it's only 3:30 in the afternoon here, and it looks like that. Wow. Yeah, that was not nearly as bad as a of a landing as I thought it was going to be. But the problem is we let our airspeed drop too much, and we kind of had to make some pretty coarse adjustments with the throttle. Usually you want to be stable on your final approach speed with just minimal adjustments to the throttle. We were having to make some larger ones, which is kind of why our descent rate was a little unstable there. Wasn't terrible, I guess. I mean, it's better than what I get. Well, that may or may not be true, but in any case, it's just practice. I've done a ton of flights in this airplane. It takes a ton of practice, and even then, some of my landings are less good than others, like this one. But just with time and practicing. Alright, oh, I see him. He's parking us over here. Alright, brakes, and he's telling us set the park and brake and cut the engine. So we are good to stop here. Is that the only leg? Yeah, for this stream, I generally do just one, roughly 45-minute to an hour flight. Sometimes I'll do 2 flights in a night. Sometimes I'll do like 2 kind of short hops. But yeah, that's it for this one here. Landing light off, pitot heat off. Boost pump, flaps are up. Oh, strobe lights need to stay on, sorry. Nav lights off. We can cut the avionics. Throttle just doesn't want to cooperate. I can't wait to get a new one that hopefully works way better. And we'll go ahead, cut the mixture. And there we go. Look at... I love how it says vicinity. I landed at the airport. I don't know why that doesn't seem to recognize that. An hour and 1 minute and 25 seconds. I mean, that is right at the time that we were expecting. Also, I don't get credit for a takeoff or a landing. And I don't understand. I don't understand that. They gotta fix the bugs and quirks out of this in Flight Sim 24. I mean, good lord. Nice flight, man. Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. Alright. Engine's cut off. Now we can turn the strobe lights off. Alternators off. Magnetos. And batteries. And sun is no longer visible over here, although you can just kind of barely see it hitting the mountaintops over in Canada. And then these couple right here. And then you get a little bit of the kind of the red clouds in the background. That's pretty. Definitely one of the prettier flights I've done into here. This really doesn't have... This airport in the summer really has nothing on this in the winter like this. This is absolutely gorgeous. And man, no problem, really enjoyed watching. I'm glad to hear that. That's, you know, that's my goal when I stream these, is I hope people enjoy them and maybe learn a little something. Don't forget to add you. I will not. I've got your ID on there and I'll shoot you a message, man. And now we reverse it into forward, just a beacon. I like that view better, and we'll keep it there. That's gonna do it for this flight, folks. Thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed. Welcome to Eagle, Alaska, and hope to catch you aboard on the next one as well. And until then, take care, stay safe. We'll see ya.